When it comes to finding a controller that is very easy to use, has good features, and has a relatively low cost, you're kind of stuck in a weird category where the controllers normally aren't the best quality. So for me, I was super excited to try out the GameSir Nova 2 Lite. Now, this controller is under $30, and you actually can get a $35 version, which is in all gold. This one I have right here is the Midnight Gray. It's $29.99 US dollars, and it has all the features that I have ever wanted in a controller. Not only are you able to connect it to your computer, but you can also connect it to your Nintendo Switch, an iOS, or Android device, making it pretty much the ultimate controller. It comes with not only Hall effect sticks, but also Hall effect triggers, meaning you're gonna get a long, long life out of this controller. You can use this controller both wirelessly and wired, and it even comes with a case to keep the controller safe if you're taking it over to a friend's house or a LAN party, or maybe you have kids like I do and you just want a little extra protection while it's sitting on your desk. The controller also has hair triggers. So on the back of the controller, you can slide these little stoppers into place, and now the triggers barely even move. This is great for first-person shooter games, as you can ADS and fire very fast without having to pull the trigger all the way down to make the gun shoot. It also has two programmable back buttons. This is very helpful. A lot of people don't use these and they don't understand the point of them. But if you're playing a shooting game, for instance, and you have your hands on the joysticks, the last thing you want to do is stop aiming and then jump or maybe reload. So you can map those so that you can jump and reload, and you still have your hands in the optimal spot. Now, one of my favorite features about this controller is something that most people won't really appreciate. But when I've used other controllers, I've noticed that the bumper buttons seem to break pretty easily. And this one has more of a PlayStation 5 controller where it goes straight down, where a lot of like the Xbox style controllers by default have one that's on a hinge. And by using a hinge, you're putting pressure on it and eventually the inside plastic snaps. I've gone through multiple controllers that way. However, I'm still using a PS5 controller that I've had for over a year with no issues because of how those buttons are. So I think the longevity of this controller is going to be very, very good. Now this is the GameSir Nova 2 Lite. As you can see, it has tri-mode connectivity, meaning it works on iOS, Android, and Switch, as well as, of course, the PC. Now, when they say tri-mode, they mean Bluetooth, wireless with a dongle, or a USB cable. It has drift-proof Hall effect sticks, the Hall effect triggers, and stops. Here's what it comes with. You get the controller, the little dongle, and you even get this nice little carrying case that's made of a little plastic that you can store it in, and the dongle even hides in the back right there. So let's take a look at the actual controller. Here it is, the GameSir Nova 2 Lite. Now I love the color of this one. This one has that awesome gray with black and orange. I think it looks really nice. Has nice textured grips, the back buttons that I had already mentioned. And if you purchase an optional charging dock, you can charge it using these connectors right here. These are going to be your stoppers for the trigger, so you can have it very, very quickly activated, or the whole long press, which can be great. USB-C for charging if you're not using the dock. And it even has a customizable LED ring around their logo. Now the D-pad has a nice little mechanical click to it, which I think is very satisfactory. I did play through all of Tony Hawk 3 using this controller to try it out, and I have to say this is probably the best budget controller I've ever used. Now I personally have the GameSir G7 Pro, and this is my main controller now. I used to use only a PS5 controller, but for the price difference, I would say if I was going to go out and spend my money on a controller, I would probably go for the Nova 2 Lite. The reason being, there's very few features that are added to the G7 Pro that I feel make it worth the difference in cost. Now it does have, for instance, the headphone jack, and it does have some extra buttons on the back, as well as the 2 extra buttons on the top. Now, if you're not going to be using those though, and you just want a great controller, the Nova 2 Lite is fantastic. Now let's go ahead and plug it into my computer, and I will bring up the software that you can use so I can show you how that is customized as well. Now here is the actual software that you can download from their website. This is the GameSir Connect, and it is meant for the Nova 2 Lite. It will show you things such as the charge level. You can mess with the vibration settings, how you want your buttons to work. So this is really cool because this allows you to customize those back buttons like I had said. So this is L4 and R4. So you could make L4, let's say I want that to be reload. I'm gonna make that X, and then R4, I want it to be A so that I can use that to jump in games. You can change this to whatever you would like, of course. You can check out the sticks and make sure that they're properly centered. As you can see, when I release these, they go right back to 0. We can also check this one to make sure. This way you can see if you need to change any input settings such as the dead zone or anything else. Now we also have the triggers. This lets you check out how much you're pressing down, and you can do that on both to make sure those are working. I love that it auto switches in the software for this. It makes it really nice. You can also adjust the vibration settings in it, and you can even test them. If you hold down LT or RT, you can make them vibrate, which is kind of cool. That way you can really see how much vibration you really want. I personally don't use vibration when I'm playing games, as I think it's kind of distracting. Now, finally, we have lighting. So I made it this really fun purple color. You can make it any color you want, and all you have to do is just move the slider to where you want it to be. So if you want it to be green, now it's a green ring around it. Personally, I just like the color purple, so that is where I have kept it, but you can do anything you want. From the software, you can also update the controller's firmware. So if there's ever an update for your controller, it would show up here. All you have to do is click the little firmware update button and it'll tell you. Now mine is currently up to date. I updated it as soon as I got it. You can also reset the controller to default if you messed anything up. And there is a button tester as well. So you can press the buttons, make sure they are all working, and see everything right there on screen. Makes it really nice to be able to do things. Now in the box, not only do you get the controller itself, but you will get a USB-C cable that actually has their little logo branded onto it, which makes it nice to look at. And as I mentioned before, you do get the case. Now, what I love about the case, like I said earlier, is that it can actually hold the wireless dongle. And then when you're done with your controller, you can just drop it in here and it's safe to travel with. It's a very nice plastic. The sticks won't get hurt. No one can press any buttons, and it's very slim. It doesn't really add anything to it and makes it a nice addition to the Nova 2 Lite. Also in the box, you will get some information. Their little advertisement right here, which has their QR codes to join their Discord as well as contact them. Nothing really that special right there, but you do also get instructions. Now these can be very helpful. It's not super hard to get into. Honestly, you're probably only going to ever need this first little section. This is how to hook it to a Windows computer, hook it to the Switch, Android, iOS, or G-Touch mode. So you can go through all of that. It also has some calibrations that you can do and how to reset the controller. For me, I would just use the software that you can download on the computer for free. So that's it. I would say that if you're in the market for a controller and you're on a budget, this is your best option available. I absolutely love this controller. I'm going to have a link for it down below. I will also have a link to the other one that I use, the G7 Pro, and you can check both of those out. I'm also excited because I won a giveaway on Twitter that they did, and I will be getting sent the Nova 2 Lite in gold, which I'm very excited about. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and that it was very informative for you. If you have any questions or want to talk about the controller, go ahead and just leave a comment down below. There's also going to be a link for my Discord if you want to hop in and chat more than just a back and forth on comments. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel so you can get future videos from me, as well as like this one. Until then, I will see you in the next video.